Hi, I'm Rachel, and today we're going to talk about my favorite Madelinetosh yarn, Tosh Merino Light. Alright, so this is Tosh Merino Light, one of my favorite yarns. Let me tell you why. This yarn is fingering weight. It's made from 100% merino wool. It comes in a 420 yard skein that's approximately 115 grams. And this yarn is really great for lightweight shawls, accessories, or even garments. Now let's take a closer look. All right, so let's get a close look at Tosh Merino Light here. Let me hold up a skein for you guys to see. It is a single ply, and it's fingering weight, of course, like I said. So here you can see what the ply looks like. Let me turn that to the side. It's pretty thin, but that makes it really great for shawls and things like that. So it's a really good accessory yarn in particular, and also sweaters too. I've seen a lot of sweaters made out of this yarn. For those of you that live in warmer climates, actually, this yarn would be really great for making sweaters because it's not going to be super heavy. Like this is a shawl I made out of Tosh Merino Light, and I can wear it like all the way into, you know, late spring even, because it's just not very heavy, but it's just enough warmth that it'll keep your neck warm in the early morning or at night. So let me give you some details here. They do call for a size 1 to 2 needle at a gauge of 26 to 30 stitches over 4 inches. Now, what I will say about that is like a traditional gauge for a fingering weight yarn. It's the kind of gauge that you're going to see for things like socks and other like tight gauge projects, right? And it is a fingering weight yarn. However, I really wouldn't recommend this yarn for socks because it's a single ply and it doesn't have any nylon in it, so it's not going to hold up as well over time like a more traditional sock yarn would. That being said, it is a beautiful, beautiful yarn for accessories and shawls and hats, scarves, gloves, you name it. Like, it's a really great yarn for that kind of project. And some of those things you would knit on the gauge as it calls for, but for like a shawl, like these two I've got here, you're actually going to use a bigger needle, like a size 4, 5, 6, something like that. This one is the Dragonfly Shawl. This is the first sample I made for the knit along we did a couple years ago. So the link will be in the description, of course. But this was on a bigger needle size, and it's got this nice drape to it. You know, it's really, really light. And then this is the shawl I was wearing in the beginning, and you saw how it draped really nicely around my neck. Once again, on a bigger needle size, like size 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there. Don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but it makes such a nice, light, drapey fabric. It works really well for lacy stitches, but then you can also do like a more textured stitch, even slip stitches here. It's really great. So I'm kind of gushing a little bit if you can't tell. Tosh Merino Light is one of my favorite yarns to work with and to design with. I think it just really performs well with any kind of stitch you can imagine. It's really great. Needles, I mean, I've used wood, metal, bamboo, pretty much anything to knit with this yarn. I've knit a lot of projects in this yarn over the years. And any needle that you're comfortable with, this yarn is going to work well with. So I would say just use whatever you have that you love working with. And then, of course, this yarn is the 100% merino that Tosh is known for, so you can machine wash it on cold. You're going to want to do that on a delicate cycle, of course, and then lay it flat to dry. And it blocks beautifully, too. So this shawl was actually quite a bit smaller before I blocked it, but it grows significantly. So that being said, it's another one that you're really going to want to do a gauge swatch on. Especially for garments, because it does grow pretty significantly, and you're going to want to get a good gauge on how big your final project is going to be. Maybe not as necessary with shawls, because, you know, like shawls the gauge swatch isn't as critical for a shawl, but for a garment, even a hat, because you don't want a hat that's like drooping off of your head. So you might want to do a gauge swatch for those types of projects just to make sure that they're going to fit really, really nicely. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Once again, this is a hand-dyed yarn, so make sure that if you're doing a project that uses a bunch of skeins of the same color, that you're alternating as you go, or else you'll get a line where you change colors. And yeah, like I said, this is one of my favorite yarns, probably top top 5 for sure, maybe even #1 favorite yarn to work with. It's so soft, it's squishy, makes a nice light drapey project. It's so wearable. So I definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't. It's one of my favorites. So I think that's it for Tosh Merino Light. All right, so that was Tosh Merino Light, a super gorgeous, vibrant yarn that's just begging to be worked into shawls and lightweight garments. I'm Rachel from Jimmy Beans Wool. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing because we have a lot more yarn reviews, tutorials, and other fiber fun like that. Happy crafting!